Good afternoon. Welcome to day 3 of GPS. To me, GPS, everybody knows, I think, what a GPS is. It's a guidance system. It's a control mechanism. And the important thing to know about what we're going to talk about, Wednesday, we talked about setting goals. That's the G part of the play on words of GPS. Yesterday, we talked about paradigms, the things that are automatic to us, the way we automatically think, the way we automatically behave, and our automatic feelings. And I'm going to relate that all together. Today, we're going to talk about self-image and programming your inner GPS for success. Especially, it's getting close to the end of 2024. It's getting close to Christmas. And instead of waiting until 2025, I know at this time of year, people are saying, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I wish you health, wealth, prosperity. I wish for you all the wonders that can possibly happen in the new year. And then a couple of days into the new year, everybody's miserable and grinding it out and looking for ways to pay the bills and going right back to the old set programming. So I want to help you get started off on the right foot, getting ready for 2025 and finishing off 2024 with the joy, the health, the peace, the happiness, the prosperity that you deserve. So, welcome. I'm Susan McDonald, and I've been studying the laws of the universe with my mentor, Bob Proctor, since back in about 2015. I left my government job in 2017, and I started doing this full time in 2018. And my life just keeps getting better and better and better. And that's what I would love to see for you, that every day your life gets better and better, even if it's only 1%. So I'm going to do a quick review of what we talked about. The inner GPS system is your inner guidance system. It's the way you've been programmed to live. Automatic thoughts, automatic behaviors. Did you know that your life is controlled by your habits? We talked about that yesterday, that you live habitually, that the paradigm is a mental program. It's within you, and it has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior, and almost all of our behavior is habitual. Have you ever said that you're going to really do something? This is now I'm going to start. Maybe you set a New Year's resolution in the past and you said, I am going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to be fit and healthy and active and fit into my clothes. I'm going to be just feeling great. And then you really start to pay attention and you go down that road of diet and exercise. And maybe you do lose the 20 pounds. But you haven't changed your mindset. You haven't changed the deep subconscious programming. And so you've lost the 20 pounds, you're starting to feel great, and your paradigm wakes up. This isn't me. You automatically go back to that old setting, the old paradigm, and you might end up feeling sorry for yourself and eating a whole bag of cookies, or laying on the couch watching movies and eating the family-sized bag of cheesies and feeling sorry for yourself. And pretty soon that weight comes back on, and not only are you back up the 20 pounds, you usually put on 5 or 10 more just for good measure, because your paradigm, the subconscious part of you, says, yeah, we've always been heavy. I'm a little bit too fat. I don't look good. My clothes don't fit. So, what we're thinking at a subconscious level is what's holding us back from getting what we really, really want. And that's where I'm going to talk about changing your self-image today, because your paradigm, the automatic way that you think and act and feel, first of all, I want you to know that it's not your fault. We have been programmed. We have been programmed by people who love us. Let me find a good slide for this. Before you even understood what was going on around you, when you were a baby, everything that was going on around you was programmed into your subconscious mind because you didn't have the ability to reject the ideas. You didn't say, yes, I believe that. No, that's not right. Everything just was the way it was. What your parents taught you, your teachers, what society tells you. And then as you grow up, you take in information from the outside world, which of course we've been programmed to use our five senses. What you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, you've used your conscious mind, your intellect, your educated mind to agree or disagree, to accept ideas or reject ideas. Sometimes you choose, sometimes you're not even thinking, and some negative information goes straight into your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is your emotional mind. It's your feeling mind. It's the 95 to 98% of who you are. And remember, it's been programmed since before you were born. You've been genetically programmed, and you've been programmed through your environment, through what you believed and what you heard over and over and over through repetition. This is also where the paradigm lies. So you don't know why you can't lose the weight or get that big promotion at work or feel really, really loved and secure in your relationship, because there's something deep inside of you that is not congruent. You might say, oh, yes, I love life and life loves me. But then you look around at all the problems and the worries and the doubts, and the evidence is pointing to life sucks. I'm never going to get ahead. And you might have some fantastic automatic thinking programs installed in your subconscious, but a lot of what's holding us back is the negative programming. The great thing, I just touched on this yesterday, is that your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between fantasy and reality. So that goes back to, what did you write down on Wednesday as your beautiful big goal? You wrote a wish list. You wrote down maybe 10 or 50 or 200 things that you would really love in your life. And you decided on one that's going to be the goal, the fantasy, something that you're going after that you really, really, really want. And it does have to be something that you really desire, because where you are now, you're going to talk yourself out of that big, beautiful goal because you can't see how it's going to happen. So today we're going into, why do you want that goal? How does it make you feel? And who do you have to become in order to receive that beautiful goal? Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, everything that you've done up until now has caused the results that you have in your life. So the important thing is to look at some of the things that you don't like and decide they're not for you anymore. Yesterday, we talked about blessing and releasing them, writing them down, writing the negative thoughts and feelings, and burning them or shredding them or putting an X. This is what I'm not going to do anymore. But then you must create a new version of you that has the goal that you want. And we're going to trick our subconscious mind into believing, starting out with pretending that we already have the goal until it shows up in our physical reality. So the things that you have done up until now, getting that beautiful goal, decided what do you really want, spending some time visualizing it, getting clear on what that looks like. And today I'm going to tell you how to reprogram your inner guidance system to make sure that that is no longer a fantasy, but it actually becomes your physical reality, the new results. Because as you take new actions, different results are going to show up for you. So our current GPS, our current self-image, has a way of talking about and thinking about and looking at the economy. Maybe you doubt that you can earn enough money. Maybe you're worried about your stocks or your pension. Maybe you're concerned about paying for Christmas. Whether you love your job or you feel like you're giving more than you're receiving and you're not meant to be there anymore, how are you performing on the job? What do you say and think about yourself in every area of your life? How do you think about technology, about relationships, about love, about your health? You have the power to influence your subconscious mind and change your paradigms that are no longer serving you. And emotions are the language of the subconscious mind. So while we go into choosing your thoughts, understanding that what you think about, you can decide if it's good, bad, or indifferent. You can start to believe that you can change the way you look at your life and get something better than what you already have. But your conscious mind is logical, it's reasoning, and as soon as you start to focus on a fantasy, your logic is going to kick it out. So that's where the repetition becomes really, really important, because how many times have you said disempowering things about yourself? And that led to feeling bad. And guess what? Your subconscious mind started to be programmed to look for things that make you feel bad. I want you to think about your beautiful goal, and is your self-talk debilitating, or is it constructively moving you in a positive direction? Because our self-talk and our beliefs and our behavior, that's going to cause you to change the way you talk about yourself, the way you think about yourself, the things that you think you're capable of, when all these years you've told yourself it's not for you, you can't do it, it's too hard, it'll take too long. So I want you to pay attention to creating the life that you really desire, because everything is shaped by how you feel, your thoughts, your emotions, the vibrational energy that you spend most of your time living in. And I want to ask you, is your thinking aligned with where you want to go? with that beautiful goal, with what you wrote down on Wednesday as your dream idea, your fantasy goal, what you really, really, really want. Now, you might have written down a beautiful new house, the relationship that you desire. Maybe you wrote down $1 million, but it's not about the money. It's about how you will be living, what you're going to be doing with the money. How are you blessing other people's lives? So we want to tell a different story because your inner GPS is going to go right back to the set position of who you've been in the past. Think about the beautiful pictures that you saw during that visualization exercise. Maybe I'll just get you to spend a moment thinking about your beautiful goal. You can write it down again. What does it look like? Maybe take a clean sheet of paper and write down, I am so happy and grateful now that this is my life. Let's take a couple of minutes to write down what that looks like, what that feels like. Okay, it might be something that you are so in love with. It excites you, you're passionate about. When you think about it, it just feels so wonderful. And then you start to, your logical mind kicks in to say, yeah, but that'll be someday, someday when I have the time, when I have the money. And one thing that I thought of this morning when I was thinking about how to talk to you about being focused on yourself, I want you to write down selfish. Now, most people think about being selfish as being narcissistic or greedy. You certainly never want to be selfish. You want to give and give and give and help other people. The definition that we have of selfish has really negative connotations. So I want you to take that word selfish and break it down. Write self-ish. And what came to me today when I was thinking about self-image and self-respect and self-love and self-confidence, self is. So scribble out that H at the end of the word selfish, and self is. Yourself is everything that you believe it is. So think about how you're talking to yourself. Are you saying, I am loved. I am respected. I am joyful. I am so happy and grateful. Or are you saying, I am tired. I'm tired and miserable. I'm so sick and tired. I'm so stupid. I'm so miserable. The, the words that you use, you're programming yourself. Now, Bob Proctor taught me that the important thing about the self, notice that everything that has ever happened to you in your life, everything you've ever done, everything you've ever experienced, everything that you have, everything you've thought, what's the common denominator? It's all about you, yourself. So even though when we were little, we were programmed to think the way our parents taught us to think. We were taught that being selfish is a horrible thing. But do you notice the people who give the most, who live the most beautiful lives, who radiate love, they fill themselves up first. I want you to get back to being connected to that beautiful divine energy of who you are. You are a divine spiritual being. You are here to help expand the universe. You are God energy embodied in this physical representation of self. And that's not selfish. That is the self who is here to create, to co-create with God, to co-create your life. You are a creative being. You have been gifted with a beautiful imagination. You've been gifted with intuition. You've been gifted with the 6 higher mental faculties. We talked about that yesterday. You've been gifted with perception, will, imagination, memory, intuition, and reason. You are God's highest form of creation. Use your perception of yourself as being created in God's image, here to co-create, here to do God's work, here to create the life that you want. Not what people told you you should have, not what people think is appropriate for you. The reason you had that beautiful image in your mind, that fantasy goal, is because we think in pictures, and that picture that you have of your goal is the coming attractions for your life. But are you aligned with that goal? I want you to start paying attention to how you talk to yourself. What is your attitude about life? What is your attitude about that goal? That it's too big, someone else can do it. It would be nice, but I want you to get that big but out of the way and start to practice knowing that you are the center of your universe. It's not selfish. It is you as a physical representation of God, here to help expand the universe, here to help create and to do more and to be more and to have more. That's not selfish in the old negative way. That is building up yourself to be aligned, to become better and better and better, so that you attract everything that you need to fulfill that beautiful picture, so that you become the person that has the goal that you set. We tap into infinite intelligence. I want you to get into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I want you to make decisions about what you want and where you're going from a place of strength and feeling inspired, feeling ready to take on the world, feeling that you got this, you can do this, making the decisions from a place of power and inner strength, not from force. It takes practice to visualize what you want and feeling as if it's already happened for you. And the way that we've been practicing, the way we've been programmed, is that you can only have so much. Remember that your inner GPS is a subconscious programming. You were taught that life is the way it is. You were taught that it's hard to make money. You might have been taught that you have to share with everyone, that you have to sacrifice. Well, you do have to make some sacrifices, but you don't have to give everything to everyone else. You have to be filled up with love and joy and peace, because what you send out through your thoughts and your actions brings back to you what you're thinking about. And you can tell what you're thinking about by how you've been feeling. We were taught that this is the way life is, and it's been that way for so long that it feels natural, it feels normal. It's your comfort zone, even though it's not comfortable. That's been programmed at a set place. So fitting in with the masses of people, doing what everybody else thinks is normal and possible, that doesn't allow you to expand and fully express yourself. You're running an old program that maybe was good for you when you were 5 years old or 12 years old. Maybe it was good for your parents and your grandparents. But have you noticed how much life has changed in the past year, in the past 10 years, in the past 100 years? Everything is always changing. And when you look in the mirror, are you criticizing yourself? Are you criticizing the way you look? Are you criticizing your body? Are you criticizing your intellect or your worthiness? I want you to focus, stop doing that. I want you to know that you can become the person that has your beautiful fantasy goal, but you have to change your self-image, because while we can never outperform our self-image, the good news is we can change it. We have to change that to become the version of you that has the goal. And that means stretching. That means getting out of your comfort zone. That means being open to possibilities and thinking different and talking differently, speaking differently to yourself, speaking differently about yourself. Your experience as a child created your mistaken identity. If you've been living in lack and limitation and poverty, if you've been thinking that there's not enough to go around, you can change that. So even though you were programmed by other people, I don't want you to blame them. I want you to take responsibility for changing that setting, changing the programming, so that you can become the person you want to be, not who other people told you you are. And that takes focus. Do you know that people who talk about getting out of debt and their big goal is to get out of debt, usually they end up with higher debt because they're focused on debt. The people who live the most wonderful, magical lives, they don't focus on money, but they focus on a feeling of prosperity, a feeling of abundance, a feeling of increase. And this takes practice. For permanent change to take place, it takes making a committed decision. It takes committing to your goal every single day. It takes committing to becoming that version of you that has the goal. So the goal, it doesn't matter if it's perfect, better, vital health, but looking at yourself and saying, and focusing on pain and lack and limitation and exhaustion and disease, what you focus on grows. So I'm asking you to wake up and look at, what are you focusing on? Poor health and worry and fear and anxiety, that leads to depression and dis-ease. When you focus on never enough time, never enough time. There's too much to do. I'm overwhelmed. There's never enough. The universe actually shows you evidence that there's not enough. When you focus on your goal, despite the outside circumstances, even if you're living in poverty, barely making ends meet, when you focus on feeling prosperous, feeling generous, feeling how will you be living once your dream has come true? How many other people's lives can you bless with the extra money, the extra income, the extra time? How are you going to be helping the world? So, for permanent change to take place, for you to actually get to that level and make that change permanent, it takes a daily practice. You need to practice feeling healthy, feeling happy, feeling wealthy, knowing that you are talented, that you are God's highest form of creation, and focusing on what you want, getting that new picture of the person who is really living in that dream. So it might take 6 months, it might take a few years, it might happen sooner than you think, but it does take practicing, believing that you are the person that is going to make that goal come true. The story that you've been telling has to change. The story that you've been telling, you want to change the ending. You want to stop telling the old story of the version of you that is sick and tired and poor, and stop blaming circumstances and situations and environment, because you have control over your thoughts. You have control to decide, I am no longer going to complain about what I have, where I am, what's been done to me. I'm going to stop being a victim, and I am going to create that best version of me that has that goal. Because you're the only one who's going to cause the new effects that show up in your life. This is a slide that Bob Proctor used to use all the time. He would say, you are the center of your world, and what you create in your mind shows up in your life. Don't let other people's opinions dictate who or what you can become. Become the star of your own show. So the things that I've given you before to do is to write down your wish list, write down everything that you want. That's not selfish. That's starting to set the goal. And then when you looked at everything on your list and you chose one thing that you want more than anything because you believe in having it, you'll be happier, healthier, wealthier, more prosperous. You'll be living your dream life. So I want you to write it down. You can put it down on a little card and carry it with you. You can write it in your journal over and over and over. I've seen people write down, I am so happy that I am a millionaire. And it only took a few months and they became millionaires. I've seen people go from $30,000 a year to $1 million a month because they changed what they believe was possible for themselves. They stopped being a bit player or being the servant to everybody else, or to doing what everybody else thought they should be doing. And they decided that if I am the center of my life, I should be the center of my movie. And that's one thing that you can do, is create a script, create a play, create a life script, create a vision board, but focus on what would it be like when you are the version of you that has that goal, how will you be acting? How will you be treating other people? How will other people be treating you? What are you going to do with all that money? How will you be spending your time? It's not selfish, it's you filling you up so that you can serve the world around you even better. Because as you get better, your whole world gets better. You must let go of the old version of who you think you are in order to start believing in what's possible for you. The self-image of you that has the results that you want, start writing it down. A very important strategy or tool or tip that Bob Proctor gave me is, besides a vision board, besides writing out your goal every single day, but getting into the feeling of the wish already fulfilled, is writing out a life script and then recording yourself and saying, wow, congratulations, look at what we've done. Isn't it fantastic? I'm so happy. I am so grateful to be living in this, whatever it is, beautiful body, the penthouse suite in New York City, the cottage by the stream, the purposeful work that you're going to be doing that helps serve millions of people. What is it? If you had your goal already accomplished, what would people be saying to you? What would people be saying about you? How would you be feeling? So you could write the script, you could write a eulogy, you could write a play, you could record yourself just congratulating yourself. How wonderful life is now that you have your goal. And practice it. Listen to that recording of yourself instead of the mindless chatter of, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, I'm ugly, I'm fat. How about, wow, you're so beautiful. People are attracted to you because they see your inner beauty. You are glowing from the inside. I don't know what's different about you, but you are a different person. There's something about you. And as you fill yourself up with that divine energy, everything will be attracted to you that you need in order to fulfill that picture. That's how everything works. The energy that you send out is coming back to you. So you want to send out beautiful words. You want to send out the energy of love and peace and joy and gratitude and the selflessness that comes with being so filled up, you're serving from your heart. That takes practice. That takes doing it over and over and over. That takes listening to yourself say, wow, look at how far we've come. You're so beautiful. You're here to do God's work. We live in such a prosperous country. That prosperity is everywhere. Start noticing it. Start looking for ways that you can help make other people feel that they're worthy, that they're prosperous. Whether you donate your time, your money, whether you look for ways to give, but fill yourself up first. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. When you give to your own detriment, you start to feel resentful and miserable and tired and worn out, and you feel like there's never enough. So it's so easy to get on that downward spiral. That's why it takes practice. It takes practice. You want to spend more time in quiet contemplation, in meditation, in visualizing your goal already attained, because it's really not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Some of the things that I've given you to think about and to do over the last couple of days: to write down your goal, to spend time visualizing what is it like to be there. The busier you are, the more vitally important it is to take the time to do that. You could do that first thing in the morning. You could write out a gratitude list of 10 things that you are grateful for. And when you're in that beautiful energy of, wow, life is fantastic, I am filled with love and joy and gratitude, then send love to 3 people who bother you. If there are 3 people who bother you, don't stretch to make it up. But if there is no one bothering you, fantastic. Just keep sending love to yourself and to the world. As you fill yourself up, you start to get inspired ideas of what to do next. While you're sitting quietly visualizing your dream goal, an idea will pop into your head. You'll get an impulse to do that. Write that down. That is your higher self. That is your inner guidance system leading you to down that path to that new version of you that does have the goal. This is not woo-woo. It is scientifically proven. What you send out is what returns to you. It's a practice. It takes mindfulness. It takes focusing on your inner self, because the inner goals, paradigms, and self-image that you hold is what is showing up in your life. In order to change your outside world, in order to change your results, in order to have different results, you have to change from the inside. It doesn't take changing behavior. I mean, it does take changing behavior, but not only changing behavior, because if you don't change that inner guidance system, the set way that you look at life, the way you feel about yourself, the results that you see will keep revolving around the same old program. It takes practice. The hardest work you're ever going to do is changing your mindset, changing the subconscious, and that takes practice. This slide is really important because energy is always flowing, and we make it what it is. Energy is always available to us as it comes into our conscious mind through our 5 senses. What we see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, we interpret it. We interpret it based on what we've been told, what we expect. If you want different results, you have to change your expectations. You have to change your belief system. You are a divine spiritual being. You are a divine spiritual being, and spirit is always for expansion and fuller expression. So when you take that beautiful fantasy goal that you've decided in your conscious mind what it looks like, and you program it into your subconscious mind through repetition, through emotionalizing it, through really believing that you're there. And that's not greed. That's spirit flowing to and through you, your body, taking new actions, new behaviors, and the results coming back to you from the universe are more beautiful that you could possibly imagine. Everything starts in your mind. Everything starts in the mind. So, what are you thinking? The negativity, looking around at the outside, talking about the not enough time, not enough money, disease, poverty, lack, limitation. If that's what's controlling your mind, that's what you're going to see in your physical world. When you start focusing on the beautiful, the lovely, the prosperity, the peace, the joy, when you get that picture clear in your mind of what you really want and practice it, practice talking to yourself about it, practice writing it down, and most importantly, take the time to practice feeling what it will feel like. Because what you think, what you feel, the energy that you put out is what you experience in your life. Your current results are based on your past and current thinking. It's based on how you've been taught to interpret the world. You want a different interpretation. You want a new vision. You want a beautiful new goal. What I've told you over the last couple of days is it's up to you to bring it into your physical reality. You need to change that subconscious programming by believing, and it's all about beliefs. What you talk about over and over and over, what you think about over and over and over becomes true for you. So earlier I said your subconscious mind has no ability to reject. Your subconscious mind, once you think about and talk about and feel what it's like to be that version of you, you're going to notice, you're going to become aware, you're going to start doing things differently because notice the stories that you tell yourself, you can change the story, shift your thoughts, and you shift your results. You cannot become who you want to be by clinging to who you are, who the old version of you is. And the right doors won't open for you until you're the version of yourself that's supposed to walk through those doors. I'm not going to wave a magic wand and give you overnight everything that you've dreamed of. As you focus on believing that you're worthy, believing that you are the person that has that fantasy goal and it's coming true for you, start to believe that it's possible. Then you start to believe that it's probable, and then you know that it's likely, and then it just becomes. Just like you know Christmas is coming in a couple of weeks, just like you know the new year is going to follow, just like you know that what you have is what you have, you have to give up thinking the old way in order to become the new version of you that has that beautiful goal. And if you believe that you are God's highest form of creation and there are infinite possibilities, of course it's possible for you. You are infinite. This world is infinite. There's not a set amount to go around to be shared by the entire world. If you want more, just go out and get it. But believe that it's possible for you. Believe that you're worthy of receiving it. Believe that you are healthy, happy, wealthy, joyful, peaceful. Believe that you have all the time necessary to do the things that you want to do. And start acting like that. Everything that you think on repeat has become part of your world. So practice thinking about, writing about, and feeling that best version of you, and it will show up. You will become that person. You are that person. You're just an older version of that person right now. Remember, you are co-creating your life with the infinite. Why not make it beautiful? Why not decide on going after that beautiful fantasy goal? Make a committed decision. You're going to work on this every single day. And then it just shows up. People will think you're lucky. People will think it happened by magic. People will think you won the lottery, but it's all the work that you've done on yourself, thinking new ways, feeling new ways, acting new ways, and becoming a better and better version of you every single day. Don't hold yourself back. Go after what you desire. I thank you so much for being here. If you want help going through, I have a 6-month process that I help people do this so that you're not feeling alone, that you're actually held accountable, that you believe at a deep subconscious level that you deserve that goal, and we make it happen. Thank you so much for being here. I want you to live your life on purpose, living it the way you desire it to be, and becoming the self that is the self that has your goal. Thank you. Have a fantastic day. Create a life that you love. See you soon.